Good morning, Stoner Prairie. Today is Thursday, December 3rd.
Happy birthday today to Rain Miller Mitchell and Jaden and Jordan Moore.
Happy birthday to each of you. Hey, Miss Schlitz, did you know that December is National Tie Month?
It is?
Yep. In December, we honor that thin strip of cloth that is a common piece of business attire. Neckties can be quite fashionable.
Well, it's a good thing we have a tie expert at Stoner Prairie to tell us all about the necktie.
We do?
Yup, Mr. Schrader, Stoner Prairie first grade teacher and tie fanatic, is our correspondent today to tell us all about the necktie and a fun tradition he does in his classroom involving the necktie. Some of his former students might remember this.
Hello, Stoner Prairie. My name is Mr. Schrader, and I'm going to be sharing some information with you about ties because it is National Tie Month, and I guess I've become a little bit of a celebrity around here because of some of the traditions that I have in my classroom around wearing ties during most years. Sometimes people wonder, well, Mr. Schrader, how did you start collecting all those ties? Well, just a tiny bit of history on that. Many years ago, Mr. Schrader was not a teacher, I was a banker. And when I was a banker and I decided to become a teacher, my wife, who worked at the Disney store at the time, said, you know, honey, you need some fancy ties. All you've got are these boring banker ties. They are kind of boring, right? So she said, you need to have some fun ties. And so she started the collection. Now, because it was the Disney store, she had all kinds of fun Disney character ties and Pooh character ties. I collected more and more over the years. Sometimes kids would buy them for me. I have a few favorites that I thought I would share over the years. If you've ever played the game of Operation, that one is a fun one. That one's always been pretty popular. I also like having ones that children have created, they painted and turned into ties. Or, because some of you know I'm a musician, I might be wearing a tie with lots of instruments on it. Now this one we have to kind of keep quiet because this is only supposed to be worn by people who work at McDonald's, okay? So my wife was able to get it from a real McDonald's employee several years ago, but this is also another really popular one. Now sometimes for holidays I have certain ties I like to wear also, like on Valentine's Day and on St. Patrick's Day, and some of these even some of them even play music. I better throw that one across the room or it'll be interrupting the whole presentation. Okay, now, and recently, of course, I've gotten my Green Bay Packer tie and my Badger tie. So those are also some fun additions. Now, one thing that people sometimes ask me is, well, how do you tie a tie? How do you actually do that? It looks so fancy. So I thought I would show you how I do it. We're going to be doing a tie called a half Windsor today. Now, you might be surprised to hear that there are many different kinds of ties for ties. And so I make sure that I've got a long end and a short end. And we wrap around the front. And we go behind. And we wrap around the side. And then we wrap around the front. And then we go up through the middle. Very fancy. Kind of like an ascot tie. But then we go down through. And now this is very important. Here's where we make what is known as the dimple. You see that little dimple there? That little hole? Okay. And we snug it up tight. And we fold down the flaps. And Mr. Schrader looks as handsome as can be. Right? Okay. There we go. So, if any of you ever want to borrow a tie, or if you want help tying a tie, just let me know because I have a whole bunch of ties. Yo! See you later.
Wow. Thanks for showing us how to tie a tie, Mr. Schrader. The necktie is kind of like a mask in that it can be a really fun way to use accessories to express ourselves.
Totally. Speaking of expressing yourself, we may have passed Thanksgiving, but that can't stop us from expressing gratitude. It's Thankful Thursday.
Wonderful. What is our Thankful Thursday challenge today?
Well, Miss Musgrove, this is a challenge that I do myself every single night. Today, we challenge all of you to write or draw something positive or some bright spot in your day today. I've been doing this every day for 6 years and I keep it in a journal, and it's really fun to see what my best moments of the day have been over the last few years. It makes me feel really grateful.
Awesome. Well, I know the highlight of my day today,
What is it?
the recording of Stoner Prairie Scoop.
Me too. I sure love getting to Zoom with you and share our students' birthdays and all sorts of other important information.
Totally. Well, that does it for today's episode of Stoner Prairie Scoop. We'll see each of you tomorrow, Wildcats. Until then, don't forget to be safe,
Be kind
be responsible.
and be a problem solver.
Have a great day.